Hi everybody, this is the comic book cut, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the people's champion. Your host, and welcome back to the comic book cut, and hopefully you like this video. Hit that subscribe button. So as you know, comics is woke and it's a disaster. And you're starting to see people come out and talk about it more openly. Guys that have not been not political at all. And that's a legendary artist, and one of my favorites is John Romita Jr., And according to Phantom Pulse, their headline goes, John Romita Jr. blasts the modern comic industry. Quote, stick with the entertainment and stop with the preaching. Ain't that the truth? That's the problem. They all speak from the Marxist preaching handbook. They think they're better than everybody. And this goes throughout all of culture and politics. They all act like they're better than everybody. That's the problem. But did you know John Romita Jr. is legendary for his run on Spider-Man? He did a great run with the X-Men, Uncanny X-Men back in the 80s. That's how far back I go. And he did a lot of great stuff. Some of my favorite things. I can remember him doing remember that new Universe book, Star Brand? I remember that. But his work is very much, he started out, and as you know, his father is John Romita, legendary Spider-Man artist from the 60s. He's the second greatest Spider-Man artist in history. He came after Steve Ditko. But Junior, and he's really not a junior. That's just his pen name. He's really not a junior, believe it or not. But anyway, let me read you the article. John Romita Jr. is one of the most respected creators in comics, co-creator of Kick-Ass with Mark Millar, and a longtime veteran who's worked on nearly every superhero, most notably The Amazing Spider-Man. He's done a new interview telling comic creators, stick with the entertainment and stop with the preaching. Right on. Fresh off a wildly successful launch of a new Kickstarter project with Mark Millar, Psychic Sam, John Romita Jr. is going around doing interviews to promote the project. The son of the great John Romita, he's not a senior, I will point out, whose work on The Amazing Spider-Man is legendary. He's been a staple in the comic book industry for decades with his distinctive style of dynamic action leading to some of the most memorable comics of the last 30 years. His style is very similar to Jack Kirby's style. He draws in a shorthand, which you can be very critical of it. His work on Superman at DC was not very good because he didn't know the characters. He went on to the Word Balloon podcast on Friday, June the 13th, to talk about Psychic Sam and a myriad of different and other topics. Eventually the conversation shifted to politics. He spoke in New York and the conditions it's been in lately, saying Rudy Giuliani made the city safe for a while, and then the next mayor, Bloomberg, did a good job. The guy after that did a lousy job, and now the city's still struggling. That's right, de Blasio was a disaster. Or as his real name is Wilhelm. There were days when you could walk Times Square with your family and your grandchildren, and it was wonderful. Same thing with California. My wife's from San Diego, he continued. You could walk the streets and the beach, and you can't do that in San Diego. You can't do that in New York City. Everything's changed. Something's got to be done. I'm ashamed of New York, but I'm proud that there's improvement. Now, I used to go into the city, 2014 and 2018. I could get off at 42nd Street and walk all the way down to the Javits Center and nothing, no problem. Even earlier than that, I went to a concert at Roseland 2010, and my girlfriend and I afterwards walked from Roseland all the way down to 42nd Street at 11 o'clock at night, no problems. No problems. I wouldn't do that now. Would never do that now. The article continues. From there, he was asked about the current state of the comic book industry, where he issued a stern warning to creators. Quote, I think if they stick to entertainment, you morons would make decisions. You morons who make decisions, stick to entertainment. Don't preach to me. Don't tell me what side of the coin I should be on politically. I don't care. I'm independent. Make me smile with entertainment. There you go. He continued. You know what the biggest selling R-rated movie of all time is? Everyone knows it. It's Wolverine and Deadpool because it was entertainment. It was the most funny. I see people on airplanes laughing out loud at watching that movie. I would mention I've not seen that movie. He returned to stating how politics has ruined recent films. Don't preach, entertain. The anger in me is there. It's palpable because of the damage that's been done to the industry. The damage has been terrible as the comic book industry has been declining in profits and sales in recent years because of an overabundance of politics driving the casual reader away from superhero books and causing them to abandon comic book stores entirely. It's true. He then relates the industry to film, saying, I think the film industry 25, 30 years ago should have done this. All of these brilliant writers with premises month to month to month are films or TV shows at the least. If I owned a studio, my hand to God, I would have hired about 10 of those writers in the comics industry. And I'd say, here are $1 million each. Give me a year's worth of your premises. I'll turn them into stories. TV shows or films. Every comic book writer is brilliant-minded in that respect. Come on, it's a film. And then I'd hire me to do storyboards for all of them. Comic creators are filmmakers. I don't care what anyone says. He concluded reiterating this point. And stick with the entertainment stuff. And stick with the entertainment. Stop with the preaching. His fiery statement represents what a lot of comic book fans have been saying over recent years at Marvel and DC. And they don't seem to be able to get the message that people don't want the extreme leftist identity, politics shoved in their faces every time they open a comic book. It's insulting to the reader and their intelligence, and it's caused its share of harm to comics. It certainly has. It really has. And I screwed up this whole hour ago, by the way. But, he is trying to promote a very entertaining book. And Mark Millar is one of the best creators, one of the best writers in the industry. And they're trying to put out a book. And he's trying to sort of basically say, I am neutral and I don't care about politics. This basically brings in a lot of the sort of the conservative people to come in and look at this book. Psychic Sam. $75,000. That's pretty damn good. 1,216 backers. He's got 22 days left in this. It's very interesting. Interesting. This is very interesting. But what do you think about this? And of course, let me know what you think about it in the comments section. Thank you for watching. Have a good day, and I'll see you later.